Artist. Welcome back. Today we are going to add our bats to our night skies that we made last week, and I'm so excited to do this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make mine. If you feel like it might be a little too complicated or you have a different idea, that is completely fine. But I'm going to show you real quick what I'm aiming for this to look like. This is a finished one that I just did. Now I haven't glued all my pieces on yet because I'm going to move these to the side and show you with this backdrop on how to create your little bats. Well, I basically just made them out of triangles because they have 3 sides to it, a square, and these are little triangles. And so with just some simple rectangle shapes, I'll show you how to make the triangles and the squares to make little bats. Now I chose 3 colors, red, yellow, and blue. They're the primary colors, and that just is the first thing that I thought of. However, you can do your bats any color you want, but I do recommend that you choose not black. Typically we see black bats, but we want them to show up against our black backgrounds. So let's go for a brighter color for this purpose. All right. So I just talked about how I use the primary colors. So what you're going to need to do this is choose 3 colors of paper, and they can be any colors that you want. I just happen to choose the primary colors. And it's best if you have them in a rectangle shape. Now, these are 3 by 6. It's up to you on how you want to do that. So to do that, if you take your rectangle, take one of them, and we are going to be using scissors again. So remember to ask an adult at home if it's okay if you use your scissors. And remember, we're only cutting the paper for our art project and nothing else today. All right, so this is called a rectangle because it's got 2 sides that are longer and 2 sides that are shorter than a regular square. Now on my paper down here, I'm clearing my other paper so I can show you. You're going to take one of these and you are going to cut off part of it. Now a third, that's kind of tricky, not half, but you don't have to measure it, just part of it. So watch me do this. And we're going to set the big one aside. Now this is how I'm going to get the little square head. I'm going to turn it and I'm just going to make a little square. This square is going to end up being the body of my bat. So I'm going to end up doing that with all 3 of these papers to create 3 bats. So I'm going to lower my camera again so you can see that I'm going to lay that one there. I'm going to do this with the yellow. So watch, I'm cutting off part of it. We will need the other parts later, so don't get rid of them. And there's another square that I made with the sides pretty equal. And then I'm going to go to my other one. Now, as always with art, and what I love about art, is that it's okay if it's not perfect. Always remember that. Yours does not need to look like mine, and mine isn't perfect. You are the artist of your artwork, so it's up to you. It doesn't have to look just like mine, and sometimes you might get an idea when you're watching my videos on maybe something you want to try a little different, and that's awesome. So I'm just laying these down. I'm not gluing them down yet. We will need a glue stick later. Just to plan out my design on my background that I made last week. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to this red piece and I'm going to show you how to make the wings. I have a rectangle left and I'm going to go from one corner diagonal to the other corner. Also, you can pause my video anytime if you want to stop and go back and look at my video or stop a minute while you do this so you can follow along with me later. I have 2 of these, and then I'm going to create the wings of the bat with these 2 triangle shapes. I'm going to just set them there. Again, I'm just planning it out. I'm not going to glue down till the end. All right, I'm going to do that with all of these. I'm going to go back to my big rectangle for yellow. I'm going to cut diagonal. Then I get 2 triangle shapes, and I'm going to set them down on each side of my yellow to create the bat wings. And then again with my blue. I can even have the wing kind of cover the moon because it's going to look like it's flying in the night. That's completely fine. So I've laid these out. I kind of like the way they look on mine, and yours can go any way. They could even overlap each other. You also can take one of your bats and you can make them overlap with each other. It's kind of a fun idea as well to make them look like they're like that. So however you want to do it is fine. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, so far we've got a body and the wings. I just happened to show you how to do it, a square and a triangle. If you want to do it and just make a round body and triangle wings, I'm going to let you have that freedom. But this is a fun idea. All right, I have 3 other little scraps left. And I'm going to go back, and with these, I'm going to create little triangle ears for my bats. You can always create a triangle by going diagonal on a square, which is what we've been doing. These are going to be kind of big for me, so I might take one of these and just kind of put it to the side as a scrap and create some smaller triangles. All right, like that. So that I love how that looked. And then this one, I'm going to create little triangle ears. Go that way. Or if you don't want your bat to have ears, that's okay too. I just want you to have fun with it. Do ears on this one. You could do secondary color bats, which would be orange, purple, and green. It's an idea. All right, so I've got little bats. I've got triangle ears, and I made them on my paper. When I decide I like the way it looks, then that would be the time that you would go ahead and glue it down. So I'm just going to do it one at a time. Take my glue stick. If you use bottle glue, liquid glue, just remember all you need are little dots, not a lot. I always glue on the smaller piece of paper, not the background. So that's just a good rule because that way you don't get glue showing all over and it makes it look a little neater. So this blue triangle is smaller than my big black background, so I put the glue on the smaller triangle. So we will do that for all 3 of these. And I would go ahead and take the time to do it. I'm going to go ahead and wait on that so I can show you the rest. The last thing that I think is fun to do is we're going to add little eyes to our bats. There's many ways you can do that, but I'm going to show you a fun way. I am going to attach to our lesson a little sheet of googly eyes ideas, or you can even pause this on here when you're ready to do that for some fun little bat faces. But if you just take a piece of white paper or a scrap and make 3 sets of eyes. Not real big because you want them to fit on that little triangle space. They don't have to be perfect. And you can cut them out. If you want to be silly, you can kind of make them go sideways, however you want. And if you cut them out and glue them down, they really pop off the paper and they look really cool. Now, another idea would be is just draw them with a marker or a black crayon, and you can absolutely do that too. Again, I'm just giving you some ideas, and you can decide what you have at home to work with or what you really want to do. So I made 2 eyes, put a little glue on them, and I put the glue on the eyes because they're smaller than the blue paper this time. And then if I wanted to add a fun face to it or a fun mouth, I can just use my marker, maybe add some spiky teeth, maybe even add some funny eyebrows. And I've got a funny little bat. And I can do that for all of my bats so that they're all completed. So you can do some funny different faces on there. So go ahead, create 3 paper bats on your paper. And like I said, you can do them like I did, which is just starting off with a rectangle and cutting them diagonal to create triangle wings, square body, and I did triangle ears. Or if you want to try to just draw a bat and put it on here, that's fine too. You could add some other designs too if you wanted to add some lines on the bat wings. That might be kind of fun. I'm just using a black marker. You can use a black crayon. So have fun. I can't wait to see what you make this week with your bats, but try to do 3 on your background. Take a picture or a video and show it to me. I can't wait to see what you create this week.